Davy Hubert is not going to labor. The impressive driver at the moment is Divan Lismore, who's lying in third place in the 350Z Nissan. Divan's been preparing that car well. He's starting to know the car. He's doing well. He's ahead of someone like Gary Kieswetter, which astounds me because Gary in that Martini Porsche is exceptionally quick in that GT3 Cup car. Then we've got the other two Nissans a little bit further back there. That's Emil Botha and Simeon Penev. Then Oliver Hinternaas is an outside entry. He's in the BMW 328i. Martin Prince in the GT3 Cup car, taking it easy. I think this is more a shakedown for Martin than anything else. He's been out for over a year.
And then there's another group of cars working its way out of Castile Corner as well. And that's the Lotus Exige in the hands of Philip Boyson. And then the Elf of Eric Solomon. And then the Shelby Can-Am of Martin Pugh. They're working their way through turn 3 Interceptor Corner. We'll get the cameras sorted out for now. The weather is causing havoc with the cameras out there, the wind that we had yesterday and the rain, as the leaders are heading towards us. Should I say that fight for second, third and fourth. The leader, all on his own, is working his way out of turn number 1, and that's the Porsche of Davy Hubert. He's heading towards Castile Corner. And then that fight for second, third and fourth working its way to Castile as well. And that is the pull beam of Francis Carruthers, the Porsche of Gary Kieswetter and the 350Z of Divan Lismore.
Well, I think the likes of Gary Kieswetter got the message on the board, wind it up, and he's closing down at Francis Carruthers. He passed Divan Lismore, but Lismore now sitting with him as they're going to Interceptor Corner. And I think Divan will enjoy the tow coming out of Gary Kieswetter. Gary, however, will want to get past the likes of Francis Carruthers. They make their way now up towards Sarel Sweep. And Davy Hubert, well, he's an enigma on his own. He's absolutely peddling that 991 down towards Pertamina Fostrom Corner. He's got about a 5-second lead over Francis Carruthers, who's been hounded, to say the least, there by Gary Kieswetter as they go down into Pertamina Fostrom Corner, turn number 5. Looks like the track is drying out somewhat there. And as Davy Hubert crosses the line, those three cars coming out of turn number 5, and Kieswetter gets a little bit of a car wash as he comes up behind Carruthers up under the bridge, and he's sitting behind Carruthers. Carruthers knows that Kieswetter's there. Lismore, he's murdering that 350Z down into turn number 1.
There's another group that's heading down into turn number 5 now into a Fostron Corner, and that's a 350Z of Simon Penev. That is Simon Penev, sorry, that's leading them out of Fostron Corner, and he's got that silver Dream Machine behind him there of Emil Botha. Those are two Nissan 350Zs. And then we've got Oliver Hinternaas in the BMW, and then behind him the GT3 Porsche Cup car of Martin Prince as they race down into turn number 1 into holes.
Well, Martin Prince driving like a Sunday drive, gingerly. I think he's just scrubbing that car in. Like I said, it's brand new. I'm not going to be on his case all afternoon. It's uncalled for. They've got 17 laps to go. Martin might just get the heat into those tires and start pedaling it. But let's have a look at the leader. Your leader now down in Pertamina Fostrom. That's Davy Hubert. Francis Carruthers still ahead there of Gary Kieswetter. And up behind him there is Divan Lismore. Divan Lismore having a great drive with the MP4 as Davy Hubert crosses the line. We see there for the viewers at home some of the drivers out of turn 3 there. And that is Oliver Hinternaas. So they there behind Simeon Penev. Then it's Emil Botha, then it's Oliver Hinternaas, and then up behind him it's going to be Martin Prince in the new Porsche. So having a look-see now, still Davy Hubert leading out. Davy putting up a time of a 1:22.581. Not too shabby. It's more or less been the time of the day for everybody in cars. The open wheelers also did that, so it gives you an idea of the track condition at the moment. So coming up towards us now is going to be Emil Botha, then Simeon Penev and Hinternaas. So now your leader down towards turn number 5 with blue flags waving there for slower drivers. There goes Davy Hubert. Davy Hubert has got quite a considerable lead now, and then it's going to be, looks like our man Gary Kieswetter has now got past Francis Carruthers. So the Porsches coming into their own. They're coming up towards us now. There's Davy Hubert. He passes Martin Pugh, now a lap down. So Martin Pugh goes through there. And he's going around quite slowly. Right, so we on the exit there of Castrol Corner. There comes your leader now, coming through. That's Davy Hubert. He's got a considerable lead over Gary Kieswetter. Kieswetter now ahead of Francis Carruthers. Kieswetter now into Castrol Corner. Into Castrol Corner is Kieswetter, who's now pulling away from Carruthers. Going through some slow traffic, gets past Philip Boyson.
Right, so it looks like our cameras has been sorted out for now. As we have a look-see, the car's busy working their way around, and the leader's going down the back straight all on his own, heading towards turn 5, towards Fostron Corner, and he's got a sizable lead there over Gary Kieswetter that sits there in that second position as Hubert works his way out of Fostron Corner through the kink towards the City of Cape Town bridge. Racing down the Porsche straight into turn number 1 he goes. Then we've got the bull beam coming through, but he sits in that third position because here comes Kieswetter. He's going to put a lap there on Martin Pugh. Martin Pugh will be lapped there. He's in the Shelby Can-Am. He's Martin as he works his way to turn number 1. And right on his case, you see in your screen there that white bull beam of Francis Carruthers. There he goes through. He sits in that third position, and he'll put a lap there on the Shelby Can-Am, the 21 car of Martin Pugh.
Oh, Gary Kieswetter started to show his mettle now. Trying to pull away a bit there from Francis Carruthers. He's going to go in search here of Davy Hubert, who's a little way up the road from him. There's about a 12-second gap between the two of them. So it gives you an idea of the pace that Davy Hubert is setting up. Davy's cruising around on a 123, Kieswetter on a 125, so there's a 2.5 second differential there. So if Kieswetter wants to make inroads with about 14 laps to go, he's going to have to turn the wick up a bit.
Well, I'm watching a little dice that's making its way towards turn number 4 right now into Sarah Street. Remember, the leader's far down the road, and we will have a look. See, that will be the Lotus Siege. That will be in that fight. There he goes. He sits second in that group, and that is a Philip Boyson. What a beautiful looking motor car. As I watch him on the screen ahead of him is a Divan Lasmore as they work their way into turn number 5 through Fostron Corner. And then that beautiful Lotus, and right behind him is the Elf 23B replica, and that's in the hands of Eric Salomon. Now, they say that Malcolm Rapson is the quickest accountant on 2 wheels. Well, then I suppose Eric must be the quickest on 4 wheels, because he's also a chartered accountant for those people that maybe did not know.
Yeah, with the company of his own, Salomon & Co. in Canal Walk. Yep, very much so. Having a look around, see what happens. There's Philip Boyson on screen. He's going around turn number 1 there with Eric Salomon up behind him. But your leaders making their way down towards, I think, turn number 5 would be Davy Hubert. A couple of cars coming up behind him. There goes Martin Prince, who's a little bit down. Martin, that Porsche is absolutely the numbers, but I think Martin's just getting his bum on seat time sorted out. Once he gets the hang of that car, I'm going to tell you something, it's going to be a handful. He used to have that other white Porsche of his, and he used to be exceptionally quick around Killarney, one of the top 3 contenders. So once Martin gets all these things in check, then he's going to be something to be contending with. At the moment, Davy Hubert leading out, and he's got a sizable lead. Let's pick up where he is. I think he's on his way now. There's Davy. I think Davy Hubert going out of turn number 1 on his way up the Hubert straight towards Castrol Corner, and he's got to contend with Hinton now, so blocks him going into Castrol Corner. Definitely not what he expected. He had to grab a handful of brakes there. A footful that much. and stomp on the pedal box. And he's got to get past Hintenhaus. He doesn't have to worry too much, but this is slowing him down, and Kieswetter is catching him. Kieswetter is closing that gap down on the way down to Interceptor, and that is not what WB wants. And joining me Mark's side now, Mr. Byron Knight has decided to... Good afternoon, Byron.
Good afternoon, Francois, and yes, good afternoon, everybody. So, 12 laps left to go in this Wild Rose Gin 100-kilometer challenge. Now, you mentioned Oliver Hintenhaus. That is the same Oliver Hintenhaus that was on the short circuit in the 4-hour enduro, Oliver and Albert Hintenhaus.
The Hintenhauses are ex-motocross enduro guys. That's where the Hintenhauses come from.
Goodness.
So they do motorbikes, they do motorcars. It's racing's in their blood.
Oh, it's amazing. It's great to see them out there. That E36 going quite nicely. But finally, Davy Hubert is on the main straight now, crosses the line. 11 laps left to go. He's leading by quite a way. Gary Kieswetter in that lovely Martini grey Porsche, the GT3 Cup car, fastest third sector over that last lap, but 6.1 seconds between himself and Davy Hubert. Francis Carruthers Pilbeam, third place still, but I like to always see the gaggle of 350Zs, and that's exactly what we have here. The number 99 of Divan Lusmore will be coming through shortly. First and foremost, we do have Simeon Penev that will come through in his 350Z, which he has. Martin Pugh down in 9th. There goes Divan Lusmore, and he is well and truly up ahead of all the 350Zs in this race.
Yeah, the other 350Zs are Emil Botha, Simeon Penev, they're out there. Martin Prince in the Porsche, Oliver Hintenhaus in the BMW, Martin Pugh is in the Shelby, and then Philip Boyson in the Honda-powered Lotus Exige. Strange how the people hybrid cars, isn't it? Changing motors, etc., just to get the right drivetrain.
I think it's the the experimental and creative side of motorsport is building these various machines, Frankenstein's monsters, you could say, and seeing what you can do with them. And it's amazing. It's great to see. And it's 10 laps left to go in this race now, and getting through the traffic quite nicely. Davy Hubert, Porsche 991. And a number of Porsches in this race. Class A leader ahead of Gary Kieswetter and Francis Carruthers. Still Divan Lusmore leading that Class C in the 350Z, the one of a number out there as we were speaking about. Emil Botha second in class, and he's actually leading class, Class D, and Simeon Penev, the gap between the two of them, 10 seconds.
Just give you an idea, the GT3 Cup cars are also 991s. They're all 991s. But because Davy Hubert is just a 991, he's a turbocharged car. The GT3s are all normally aspirated. That's why they're called GT3 Cup cars. They are Cup cars. But the standard 991 is actually a turbocharged car. And that's why it's just that little bit quicker. Now,
just that little smidgen
quicker. Well, have a look at Kieswetter's car. Kieswetter is pretty quick for a GT3 Cup car. It's a full spec GT3 Cup car. And the same with Martin Prince. But like I said, Martin's just getting used to the car. We'll give him time. We don't expect anything out of him today. I think it's his first ride out.
A good way to get experience in these 31 lappers. It happened a number of times over the year. And there goes Davy Hubert, crosses the line, the Wild Rose car. Kieswetter will come across the line as well. He's closed the gap, as a matter of fact. A 122.886 compared to the 124.368 of Davy Hubert. But look at the fastest lap, Francois. It's a 121.987 from Francis Carruthers Pilbeam.
Well, Francis winding up the wick at the moment. So he's starting to turn up the wick and trying to close down now on Gary Kieswetter. He's got 9 laps. There's still 9 laps in it, so anything can happen. Anything can happen. We'll have to wait and see. So having a look at our screen, there's Oliver Hintenhaus. He's the outsider. He's in the Class X BMW 328i. I think that's one of the Neanderthal racing cars, if I'm not mistaken.
There was another man who was actually on 2 wheels the last time on the short circuit.
Yeah, but if it's got an engine in it, even a sewing machine, Nean will ride it.
Oh, I want to see him race a sewing machine. I'm thinking about it.
I'm telling you, he's going to be quicker. He's going to be quick. There are those guys, we spoke about it earlier. The likes of the Zach Groenevelds, the Neanderthals, you name it. There are a couple of names here. Shane Justice. You give them something to drive, they'll drive it and they'll make it work. And that's the nature of the beast.
cricket has all-rounders. We have those kinds of all-rounders.
At Motorsport, yeah.
Motorsport.
Yeah.
And, well, there goes Boyson with the Lotus Exige coming through there as well. And a little bit, slight bit of a chase that we're going through that turn 2 Castrol corner section. 8 laps left to go in this race. The top 3 have crossed the line. Devian Lusmore will be the next man in the 350Z to come across the line. The rain looks like it's coming down a little bit more again.
There's your leader in picture at the moment, Davy Hubert. He's coming around out of Castrol corner. Davy Hubert looks very relaxed. He's just having fun out there. With about 7.5 laps to go, and it's not too much of a job for him. And I don't think, quite frankly, I mean, I know he's quick and everything, but I don't think Davy's at full tilt at the moment. I think he is just having fun. There's your second place man, Gary Kieswetter. He's not doing too badly. And then Francis Carruthers is in third. Devan Lismore to me is the pick of the bunch here. Devan is still in fourth in that 350Z, ahead of Emil Botha, but he is way ahead of him. So I think the pick of the bunch here, definitely Devan Lismore, and let's hope he ends there.
Yeah, he's 52 seconds off of Carruthers at the moment. He's ahead of Botha, second of the 350Zs, but the leader of Class D for Botha, who's in turn ahead of Penev by over 18.5 seconds. But just taking a look at it, Lusmore and Eric Salomon has been particularly quiet this race, coming across the line now. They're the only 2 Class C cars in this race, so it's a very small class. So Lusmore virtually on his own as far as class running is concerned. And well, 11 of them out there still running. Of the 12 that were meant to be out there, Connor Kilbride unfortunately not taking any further part in this race after the start.
Oh, we're sort of keeping an eye on everybody there. Eric Salomon on screen, and let's have a look on screen there. And that looked like Penev's car. Or is that Lismore? Devan Lismore. Banking his way down towards turn number 5. The back straight looking pretty dry there at the moment. Lusmore going down towards turn number 5, and there's up behind him it's Philip Boyson in the underpowered Lotus Exige, that nice little red car, little compact. Oh, and all kinds of things coming off there. Did he hit something, or was that stuff? I don't think stuff came with the car. I think something flew onto the track, a branch or a bit of bark or something, and he clattered into it. He can't be too happy about that one.
Well, just have to take a look at the front of that car, Francois, because they're coming out of 5, and there is also Gary Kieswetter as well, as we watch Philip Boyson come across the line. And now he'll be the next man to be lapped by Davy Hubert, who now has 6 laps left to go, including the one he is currently started. And, well, you can hear the gear changes there from Gary Kieswetter also coming past Francis Carruthers right behind him.
Well, Gary Kieswetter not too far behind Davy Hubert. There's Hubert, there's Kieswetter, and there's Carruthers. So with 6 laps to go, are you going to call this race?
Well, Francois, let me tell you one thing. If we try and call things, it's not really a good idea. Anything can happen. And what did I say?
And will happen.
And will happen. It
Yeah,
usually
no.
does. The great.
Yeah, well, let's
great
not dish out the curses right now. But at the moment, Davy Hubert doing a sterling job. Gary Kieswetter only 5 seconds behind him. A further 3 seconds back is Francis Carruthers. And then a good 20-odd seconds behind him is Devan Lismore down in P4. Ahead of Emil Botha, Martin Prince, Simeon Penev, Oliver Internaus, Martin Pugh. Philip Boyson, Eric Salomon is bringing up the rear of that one. Connor Kilbride, unfortunately, not taking any further part in this, in the 350Z. I had the pleasure of meeting Connor yesterday afternoon. What a fine young gentleman. Great chap there. And I'm sure he'd be disappointed that he couldn't continue in this race. Right, so over the line there goes Davy Hubert in the Wild Rose Gin Porsche. There comes your second place man, Gary Kieswetter. Up behind him there is Francis Carruthers. Lovely camera shots in this rain. You can see all the spickles of rain on the screen. So it has been raining here today. However, I must say the weather gods have been somewhat kind to us today in terms of the rain, because most of the day has been relatively dry, and let's hope it stays like this so that the bikers can have some fun.
Yeah, that is true, Francois. We remember before the bike races we had the sprinkles of rain. They'll be hoping that everything stays dry. Let's see a little bit later on. But I see here Philip Boyson He's now got Francis Carruthers right behind him. It looks like something has fallen off the front spoiler of that Lotus Exige, but the marshals have given the green lights for that, the thumbs up, the clerk of the course, and what happens is he's allowed to carry on for the foreseeable future. But yeah, they come through Sarel Sweep now. They'll go onto the back straights once again. There goes Davy Hubert, and he will have 4 more laps in this race once he crosses that line.
Right, shortly behind him, Gary Kieswetter now on screen. Francis Carruthers going down the head of Philip Boyson, and Carruthers down into turn number 5. Put him in a fast strong corner, you see there on your screen, and work their way out of the corner, working their way up towards the line. Across the line goes Davy Hubert, then Gary Kieswetter. We wait for the likes of Carruthers to cross the line. That is your front 3. They have now got 4 laps to go.
Into turn 1 for Davy Hubert once again. Class A leader overall, leader by 5 seconds over Gary Kieswetter, but he's just pacing himself here as Davy Hubert in that Porsche 991 as he goes now through turn 2, Castrol Corner. You'll see in the same section there will be the likes of Divan Lasmore in the 350Z. And then as well, after that, Gary Kieswetter, that'll be running quite strongly in that Porsche of his, the Martini Porsche.
How bad is this? The man that's lying in 4th position, Divan Lismore, is going to get lapped by the man lying in 2nd position, Gary Kieswetter. Shows you the amount of the lead that they have at the moment. And the likes of Davy Hubert. There goes Lismore, there goes Kieswetter, and there goes Carruthers down the back straight. So Divan Lismore can take it 2 ways. I'm riding my own race, or I'm feeling dejected because the guy's lying ahead of me is actually lapping me.
He can take some consolation there in the fact that he is 19.1 seconds ahead of a fellow 350Z of Emil Buerta. Different classes though. Yeah, but Lasmore's going to take this one on the chin there in that 4th position. 3 laps left to go now, and including the one that Davy Hubert is currently on at the moment, a 1:22.296 for him compared to the Gary Kieswetter time of a 1:24.169, and well, that's 6.8 seconds between the two of them. Looks like Davy's just picked up the pace just a little bit again, just to finish in style.
Oh, that's typical of Davy Hubert. He is now starting to turn up the wick slightly. He's pulled away from Gary Kieswetter. But I've got news for Gary Kieswetter that Francis Carruthers is closing up on him with about 3.5 laps to go.
So this will be officially a shortened race because we were due the 31 laps and 17 have been completed. So only another 2 and a bit more now with Davy Hubert. Like I said, in that Porsche, 6.8 seconds ahead of Gary Kieswetter, who in turn is 2.6 seconds ahead of Francis Carruthers. Carruthers in 3rd place in the pull beam in this race, the only pull beam in this race. We've usually seen of course, Steve Humble run one of them as well in a race like this. Not today, unfortunately. He is here, but not racing. And now they come down to the line where there'll be 2 more laps left to go at 23.110. 110, I should rather say, from Davy Hubert. Francis Carruthers putting in some fast lap times now. 1:26.52 in 3rd place and comes to within a second of Gary Kieswetter.
Oh, that's what I said. I could see visibly, you could see with the eye that he's closing down. He's making the gap shorter. And one wonders if that Carruthers' strategy is, I'll leave my best to last, I'll close down. So, and we know that pull beam is capable of 1:10s around the circuit, so keep an eye on that. He might be chasing the back end of Gary Kieswetter down.
This is going to be incredibly interesting. Let's see them as they come now through turn 3, which is Interceptor Corner. It's going to be Carruthers looking on the outside through that section. Not going to make anything work there. He's not close enough to launch any sort of a move. Oh, just moving slightly to the middle of the circuit there was the Gary Kieswetter Porsche. Yeah, they come around now onto the back main, I should rather say, now towards the Cape Town corner. Pertamina faster on turn 5, whichever way you want to put it. This is a challenge to the end here. They'll have this bit and another lap left to go. I saw something flying. I don't know, it was off a car.
I don't know, I think it's bark. That's bark that's fallen off the tree because it's wet.
That's pieces of Boyson's car, actually. Now
very possible.
Simon has confirmed.
Okay, so it's the last lap now. They start their last lap. Davio Bell still leads out. But have a look there. We got Carruthers right up there behind Gary Kieswetter. So the Pullbeam versus the Porsche GT3 RS down into turn number 1 holes. And you can see there on screen that Carruthers in the open top car is exceptionally close. There's your leader going up into turn 2. But have a look what's going on in there into... coming through there is going to be... There we go. Gary Kieswetter, Francis Carruthers, they are literally nose to tail. This is the final lap, if I'm not mistaken.
It is indeed the final
lap.
lap.
The flag marshal is out there. So let's pick up, if we can find the leading car, which is Davio Bell. I think he's down in turn number 5. No, he's not.
Down the back straight, I think he's going into turn 5.
Yeah.
He'll be turning now, Francois, and he will just coast it home now. But it's this little battle over here that we're going to watch, because Davio Bell will cross the line. I think they could be side by side now, Francois, onto the turn 5 section.
It looks like Kieswetter still got the upper hand. Now Internaus is blocking them. It's going to be, where do you choose to attack Internaus as they come out? Davio Bell crosses the line. He takes the win. Hubert takes the win. Here comes Kieswetter and Pullbeam, and Gary Kieswetter holds on to second place. Ahead there of Francis Carruthers.
And Oliver Internaus can smile for the camera during that one as well.
Tell you what, all those people bearing down on me, I would, need to change your underwear, to put it plainly. Right, here comes Divan Lismore in 4th place. What a drive out of this young lad, I must admit, and a very well prepared motor car.
Yeah, he's put in a great performance, Francois. Basically, you can say on his own, as Emil Buerta comes through as well. They quite a bit of distance between them. He's actually lapped by Lismore, and Martin Prince will come through in 6th position. Oliver Internaus actually was a lap down. He was lapped as 2nd and 3rd place, went across the line. Philip Boyson in 10th position. And then we just wait now for the likes, like I say, Martin Prince, Simeon Penev, Martin Pugh, and...
Now they're all down in turn number 5 at the moment. There you can see them at the back of the screen going down into turn number 5 on screen. They're going to work their way now out of 5 here under the bridge. Here they come towards us. That's Martin Prince there with the GT3 RS coming up towards us, lights ablaze. And Eric Solomon comes over the line ahead there of Simeon Penev, Martin Pugh across the line. There we go. I think everyone's finished.
Everybody's classified. And, well, that was the Wild Rose Gin 100 kilometer challenge for sports and GT cars.